All right, let's kick things off with a question that sounds like something you'd hear in the back of a primary school classroom. Do frogs really come from mosquitoes? It might sound mad, but believe it or not, this myth has been floating around for centuries. So where do frogs actually come from, and why would anyone think they're connected to mosquitoes? Grab a cuppa and let's sort it out. First off, frogs are amphibians. That means they spend part of their lives in water, part on land. If you've ever poked about in a pond in spring, you'll have seen frogs spawn, those jelly-like clusters full of tiny black dots. Those dots? They're frog eggs. After a week or two, the eggs hatch into tadpoles, which look sort of like wiggly little fish. Over time, those tadpoles sprout legs, lose their tails, and eventually hop up onto land as proper frogs. No wings, no bites, and definitely no connection to mosquitoes. So where did this whole frogs from mosquitoes crack come from? Let's rewind a few hundred years. Back then, people didn't have microscopes or nature documentaries. They'd see clouds of mosquitoes buzzing around ponds, and then, seemingly out of nowhere, frogs would show up a while later. They didn't see the tiny frog spawn because it's easy to miss, especially if you're not looking for it. But mosquitoes? Those are hard to ignore. The two just happened to show up at the same time, so folks put two and two together and, well, ended up with five. There's a fancy term for this: spontaneous generation. People once believed that living creatures could just pop into existence from mud, water, or even old meat. So if you saw frogs hopping about after a spell of rain, it wasn't a big stretch to imagine they just appeared. Maybe from the same stuff as mosquitoes. Of course, science eventually caught up. In the 17th and 18th centuries, experiments showed that life doesn't just magic itself from nowhere. Frogs lay eggs, those eggs become tadpoles, then tadpoles become frogs. The only way mosquitoes are involved is if a hungry frog fancies a snack. So, the next time you're at the pond and someone tells you frogs come from mosquitoes, you can set them straight. Frogs don't come from mosquitoes, they just share the same hangouts. And that's the real story. From jelly-like spawn to leggy hoppers, frogs have a life cycle all their own. The only thing they have in common with mosquitoes is that they both love a good mucky pond. Thanks for tuning in. If you learned something new, don't forget to like and subscribe. Slan go foil.